Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah, Kodash. The honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. So we're just going to flow in the spirit, based on really topics that we would have probably had in the conversation anyway, and topics we had it as a conversation last night, because we're very close. We're very, very close. We're close, man. And all of these things should lead us to really gird our loins and be strong and be faithful in the Lord, because everything that's coming, it can bring fear to those that didn't get ready for it, and we can all do better. It's like that's
Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
All these things is for comfort, but don't let it be to where you get scared, because things like the plagues to come, that could bring fear to you if your heart is turned to the world, because you know that's if it's coming to the world, and if you're of the world, then you're going to be part of that destruction. If I can get Revelation 18
real quick, this is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
I don't know where is it that it says plagues, Revelation 18? I can't even paraphrase it. It's there, but it's not there.
Go on.
Type in the word. Oh, no.
Paraphrase it if you can. Her plagues.
Essentially.
18 and 8.
No, okay.
Try 18 and 8.
Oh, the water is that one, thank you. Revelation 18 and 8.
Really, we could start with 4. So
that's okay. Revelation 18 and 4. And I heard another voice come from heaven. I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." And the coming out, in reference to this scripture, is actually talking about literally, physically, the deliverance with the chariots are gonna beam up the elect to be changed, to give the incorruptible bodies and to be preserved from the judgment.
So it's Revelation 11 and 12. And I heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, "Come up hither." And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and the enemies beheld them. But what was that cloud? It was a chariot, a so-called UFO. But it's been identified. An unidentified aerial phenomenon is what they call it in the UK. England at least, we don't. We know them as the chariots of the Heavenly Father, the whirlwinds, the scriptures call them. We were actually going to do a video on the chariots. Let's go Psalm 104 and 3. Relate the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
And they're going to be able to do anything. They're going to be able to make really sharp turns incredibly quickly, be invisible, really be invincible. Ultimately, that's the glory that the Lord's coming in, and that's going to be fear and terror and dread for the other nations, man. And of course, it's also going to be something that's going to be strange unto them. They're going to be very confused. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and start verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. So that's these devils right here, Esau Edom, man. And the forgive and forget spirit is amongst our people heavily, so really he gets away with it 1,000 times more. But right now, he's done so much wickedness, there's so much hatred towards his brother Jacob. There's no account for all the wicked works they've done towards us. They really even be at least do it to their own people, because they're just, they're that slimy. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. So they're going to be amazed. They're going to see things that they didn't think they'd ever see, apart from when they go to the cinema and watch some crazy movie and get this more theatrical, what's the word? You know what I mean? Get all the speakers bumping. That's the only time they thought they'd experience something like that, but they're going to see it in real life, and it's going to be terrifying.
What are those sort of films called? Apocalypse. Alright, let's get that word. So on Etim Online, if you got any precepts, feel free to bring them up. Etim Online, Apocalypse, noun, late 14th century. Revelation, discourse, from Church Latin, Apocalypsis. Revelation from Greek, Apocalyptein, uncover, disclose, reveal, from April, off, away, off, see April. Calyptin, to cover, conceal. From P.I.U. Kel, to cover, conceal, save. The Christian end of the world story is part of the Revelation John of Patmos' book, Apocalypse, a title rendered into English, Apocalypse. That says, in the year 1050 AD, Apocalypse, that's 1230, Revelation, was in the Wycliffe Bible, 1380. Yeah, we'll leave it there. So them films are pertaining to what? Destruction. And even when you go onto Brother Ioweb's phone background, not that you can see it. We might leave that as the thing.
Thumbnail.
The thumbnail. Let's get that. Isaiah 34 and 5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." And just talk on the sword being bathed in heaven.
So again, as well in Revelation 17, which wasn't necessarily going to get. Well, the point we're going to make in Revelation 18 was actually going to go into it again. The nuclear missiles are going to come down, be shot into the air from the sky, and that's the Lord's. That's the sword. What I say from the ground to the sky. Whatever I said, that's what I mean. From the ground, be launched up into the heavens, down and destroying America, which is going to cause the whole of America to be destroyed. Alright, Babylon the Great is indeed America, and that place is going to be a desolation, and no one's ever going to inhabit it and build their monuments ever again. And then furthermore, that sword that shall destroy it is going to be from the 10 horns. It's going to be from Russia, which is actually not necessarily part of the 10 horns, but it shall be the nation in the sense of the worldly manner. Russia is going to be that place to launch those missiles, man, and destroy America.
And that's the adversary, casting out the adversary.
And that's in the book of Revelation, the prophet. It's been revealed only unto the elect. But the scriptures make it clear, that the 10 horns shall burn it with fire. And I'll read that. It's Revelation 17 and
verse 10, I think.
No, it's verse 16. "And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." They're going to do such by the way of thermonuclear missiles, and the Lord is going to use them for that purpose, as it reads, "For Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled."
And like it says in Proverbs 21:1, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." I just want to go back to what I said, because really I should have started the verse up. Isaiah 34 and 4, "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all the host shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree." Do you want to grab what you're holding?
Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. "And there went out another horse that was red."
So like I think it's 14.
So like 14.
But even that, in fact, read that.
"And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and they that should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword."
There you are. And what the great sword, it goes into that, and it goes into that missile. It really means that a weapon. Who else was called weapon? Whose name in Hebrew means weapon.
Cain.
And who's he?
He's Esau.
He's the pre-sword to Esau. Alright. But 6 and 14 will have to go back.
"And the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places."
That's what's going to happen when the thermonuclear missiles come. The smoke of that fire is going to ascend into the heavens and cover out the heavens as if there was nothing but darkness and smoke. And there's going to be so much darkness that you couldn't imagine. There's clips of certain individuals where there was clips of individuals filming where there was fires and oil was involved, where unfortunate fires and massacres happened that caused so much smoke that everything was just dark, just completely dark. It looked quite scary, man, and that's going to be even worse for these thermonuclear missiles.
Was it in California where it went all red?
I'm actually
the whole. Let me try to pull that up.
I believe the thing that was in my head, I was referring to something that happened in so-called Arabia.
Obviously, you won't be able to see it on the thing, but look. If I've just searched up on Google California red sky, and what does that say? What does that say? Apocalyptic red and orange skies. So there you have it. Like everyone knows, man. Everyone's. And what was it when there was the famine coming? They were saying a famine of biblical proportions. And this is unbelieving heathen, non-Israelites who will use. They know, innit? They don't know, but they know. You're not hearing me, but you know. You hear me, but you're not hearing me. And they don't know, but they know something. Know something.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. So again, this forgive and forget spirit doesn't matter, because the Most High remembers everything that Babylon the Great has done, and everything that Esau Edom has done.
And what?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
And that's exactly what they've done, man. And that's why people don't care about it anymore, because they want to, go celebrate Juneteenth. They want to praise up everything regarding the works of Esau Edom that he's doing, especially when the fish and chips roll out. They're going to glorify that too. They're going to worship it as an idol, man. And if you're of the elect, you're going to look at it in disgust. This stuff is abominable. And that should give you more faith that all this stuff that's coming is actually more beautiful. And that's why now is the time to gird your loins rather than later, man. Because everything that's happening right now is showing you that we're very close, man. Things are heating up heavy, man. And when things start heating up towards the end, everything's going to come really quickly, especially regarding Yahweh Shaphat, Jehoshaphat, World War III.
What does it say? In fact,
I'll pull this verse real quick. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
That's the scripture I was going to get. Read it again.
It says, the second woe was past. I'm trying to read it. I'll read it again. It says, in Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
And so everything is speeding up. We were talking about it yesterday, and the likeness is birth pangs or giving birth and the contractions. If you've ever seen a midwife program, or any of your family, obviously your female family, or who knows in this place, but if they're giving birth, then you're dealing with contractions that are coming more intense and at a higher frequency. And that's what we're dealing with in terms of prophecy, in terms of things hotting up, in terms of the love of many waxing cold, all of this to come quickly. And also concerning what he did, he's going to get double for that. He's done a whole lot. It's Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And double is a lot. Right? Double is a fucking lot, man.
Because the sentence is so much, man. Like,
that's a paragraph.
We could give you like a handful of things. It's already given them such a serious sentence, and that's like nothing going to the bigger picture. So double unto, and just to clarify, that's the next verse in Revelation 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her work. So how can you have this forgive and forget spirit if you have to give double unto what they've done? So it says, in the cup which she hath filled, fill it to her double.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and 25. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. For thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. Amen.
Revelation 18 and 7. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow grieve her. Give us, Lakia. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, which by the way means a whore. I sit a queen, and I'm no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's the pride of these people. They think they're never going to get anything. They're never going to get any torment. Never going to get any judgment. And they don't believe that they even deserve it, man. That's how prideful they are. And our people, serving them and not even considering what's going on regarding the judgment of the judgment of all their works and whatnot, you know, because there's lack of consideration. Everyone's just sort of in a state where they're just asleep, you know. I guess the consideration of, I tried another word, just simple meditation thereof. You don't even just think about it. Oh, why am I here? Oh, okay, so slave ship. Okay, how the hell why am I considering this paper to be worthy of something? Oh, okay, because these simple things like that's just
FRNs.
It's not hard to really make these links up, but people don't care because people think, why should I care? And when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be like, oh snap, I really should have cared. Because right now things are heating up and they still don't give a damn. I mean, they're literally, man, you can go on news articles online and you can get different articles going on, different news coming up of all types of stuff going on leading up to World War III, man. And you can get Esau Edom literally admitting to you that there's actual, so-called UAPs, UFOs out there that they don't know what the hell they are.
They will say
stuff we can never recreate with our technology.
A conservative estimate, they're at least 100 years advanced. Now you imagine 100 years ago, like trying to show people the technology we've got today, they would bug the fuck out. Mm-hmm. So imagine again, as we get close to the end, it seems that he's getting better at the technology. He's refining his craft, and Cain's getting better with his cane, with his kwayan. Right, with his sword. Right. But we've got, keep going on that actually.
Yeah, no, I'll read the script in verse 7. How much has she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. So that's why it started, man. She's lived, this whole Babylon, America has lived
fucking slag.
So great in the abundance, great really means abundant, very much very much wealth and whatnot, riches, very heaping up to them all nations to serve them. They've got many slaves, that they don't even have to force nowadays. They just have to.
The best slaves they never had to pay for.
Yeah, man. Especially Jake. Jake is the best slaves. They didn't even have to. They don't have to force on them. They don't have to put chains on Jake anymore. They just teach them the ways of being an Edomite or being of the Babylonian persuasion, and they love it. They get all hooked up in that wine.
Persuasion.
They drink up that wine, man. This is I'll scroll past verse 7 at that point. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And you're supposed to have the spirit where you're supposed to be like, I'm excited for that day, But the only way that's gonna make sense is if you know in your heart that you're trying your best. If you really are doing the works of an evangelist, somebody who's actually teaching the glad tidings of the scriptures.
Sincerity and truth,
and faith and works go together. So all has to add up, man. You have to really look at it, analyze what you're doing your day, and examine yourself. Let me get that scripture real quick.
We've got Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more become tender and delicate. Right now you're a hoe, and everyone knows it. Verse 2, take the millstones and grind meal, and cover thy locks, and make bare the leg, and cover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. And we did a lesson, it came out what nakedness means, the spiritual covering. Them that cover themselves, there isn't a covering of the Lord. Says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Because the last time the Lord met these people as a man, and they crucified him. So this time he's coming as a spiritual being. And he's going to repay vengeance unto the ungodly.
This is 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Verse 6, but I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. And that's the point of we are faith that we're not those rejects. That's why we have this knowledge. That's why the Most High has brought us to this point. We don't believe it's for nothing. Okay? The other nations believe it's for nothing. And most of our people really will believe it's for nothing. And most of our people are part of that ungodly that have to get that judgment. So you got to examine yourselves if you're one of those people who's just caught up in things of this world. There's a lot of distractions,
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
Yeah. Right now, they think we're dead. They're going to see serious shame when they realize that we have the truth, man. they were persecuting us for the truth.
Especially,
They were literally upholding, exalting things that Esau, Edom, was really trying to blindside you with, making you blind against the gospel with. That's what they're doing right now. They love everything that's in sin or is just complete vanity, man. That's what the works are under the sun. That's why, Solomon said that. And if Solomon said that, then like right
I've got
now,
this,
man.
especially you Jakes that came up in this, and then you even started teaching, started doing the works, and then looked back. You're dead. You're literally dead. And you're spiritually dead. The Lord has marked you. So Proverbs 21:16, the man that wandereth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. As you're dead in the sight of the unwise they seem to die. You're dead.
Lack of understanding. You might as well be dead, You're just walking around with no understanding. That's like a scary thing for me, It's like a scary thing to even think about it. Imagine not being in this truth right now. What the hell would you be doing?
It's better to be dead. Sirach 22:11. Weep for the dead, for he hath lost the light. And weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest. But the life of the fool is worse than death.
This is Job chapter 3:10. Because it shut not the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from mine eyes. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Job's saying all this time when he's feeling lonely, when he's lamenting, he's mourning, because really, what's your life in this world? It sucks, man. You're supposed to hate it. If you love it, it means you're following after Esau's ways. You're going after the ways of vanity, man. And with the way the world was then, was in a much better state than it was now. Even though it certainly wasn't the kingdom of heaven.
This is 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
So therefore, consider what you love, man. And if you love the Lord, show him by your works, man. Not the works pertaining to things in this world. Even though you have to balance it out, of course. You can't be a sluggard in terms of providing and whatnot. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 17. No. Verse 15, no, verse 14. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. So that's what's happening right now, man. All the works that's done, it's really all vain, idle, it's void, it's empty, it's profitless, man. Alright, the profit that they think they're getting and they boast themselves, which all you hear nowadays is that. Like I've just started to realize in the world, all they talk about is the money, their stupid crappy materialistic crap where they spent way too much money for, but to show off how much money they have. That's why Jake does that. You don't have money for shit, and you know you don't. That's why you buy all the expensive stuff to make yourself feel like you have money, which is ridiculous, man.
That's like it's already left hand. That's like a super left hand. If one is not a Jew, there's one outwardly, wearing all the garments. Well, that's used to be the so-called flex, back in the days in the ancient world. So now what is the flex? Still putting on an outward appearance. But they don't even have the knowledge to think this is how I should appear as even as a holy man. So the appearance is as a so-called rich man. A rich man, it's very difficult for him to get into the kingdom. We'll get this Mark 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And it might for a little. And you got your constellation. Sorry, consolation, not constellation.
Like living it up for that period of time. But for the bigger picture, it's a joke thing, because really, the kingdom of heaven is the only thing that's going to be forever, and no one's going to care about this world ever again, man. In fact, these devils are going to be, it's going to be known, man. They're going to be made bare, like in Jeremiah 49. You're going to get it? Yeah. Jeremiah 49:10, it goes about making Esau bare.
Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself.
Sucking his secret places right now, all his secret counsels, his kingdoms, and everything that he's been doing in secret. But though he has an outward appearance, of just having a good old time and just living his life according to his customs. Really, the bigger picture is that he's slimy, he's freaking slithery as a serpent. He's as a prey, but he's slithering through and making himself, everyone looking at him as the wise man. But really they look at him as a wise serpent, but they think he's right hand, but he's left.
Mark 4:22. So this is Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. I just like that beast that was and is not. Because at that time, it's the same beast, man. But at that time, there was, so what Rome was up, it was not yet. Babylon, the ultimate apex of E-ism, hadn't come into fruition in that case yet.
So Mark 4 and 22, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. So eventually, all the stuff that's secret, man, all the stuff that counsels, all the wickedness that they've done, man, it's going to be made known. Everyone in the kingdom of heaven, when they're in chains, all the other nations, they're going to know. Damn, look who it is. It's that sleazy E. It's the people that had the whole world in fear, had everyone to see that they were looking out for them. Really, they were just greedy devils, man.
But even before, the fullness and it's all set up and we're all there, the initial reaction from the nations, Isaiah 14 and 4, that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. From hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Right, so this is all you Elamites, all you Moabites, you Ammonites, all of you ites. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And what's that what do you say? Symbolic of the death. When you get put in a grave, yep, perfect. That's what they do. They break down little, any organic matter. Right, so you're done out.
Esau thinks his kingdom's gonna last forever.
Yep.
Got a precept, Obadiah in verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's essentially, because that's where they was at originally, man. That's where they're really from, when the Edomites come up and tell you, you need to go back to where you came from. They need to go back to where they came from. Mount Seir, man, the clefts of the rock, little cave beasts, man. Beware the beast, man.
Beware the beast, man.
And
so he's the devil's pawn.
The pride of their heart is actually deceiving them. It doesn't matter what. Basically, man, they literally are always going to be like this, man. They're always going to just be the wicked, man. Their heart is just wicked continually, and the pride of it deceived even their own self, let alone everybody else. So it doesn't matter really at this point about the external factors around them. They're just going to be like that. They're deceived themselves by their own pride. How can you even? What
it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Let me get this. Because what can you do then? Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. It says, that which hath been. That's the right one. I believe it's here though. Ecclesiastes in 3.
What are you looking for?
Hold on. I want to try to find it. Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. And essentially, Esau Edom, man, he's that crooked thing, man. He's incredibly crooked. He's not straight. He's not walking to the straight gate anytime soon, anytime ever. All right, because that's the thing. Our people, that's what keeps most of our people in this weird limbo area where they just can't get it, because they really think there's a possibility for the wicked to be righteous, man. But it doesn't make sense. The scriptures have already clarified what the judgment is for these devils. The plagues are coming, right? Very soon. That's what I mean. We're living very close to these times, man. And so you gotta gird your loins and be a man about it. Gird your loins also refers to the manner. Gird your loins to understand, the fact that these people are not going to all of a sudden start loving you and taking care of you, looking for your best interest. They're greedy devils, man. They're deceivers. They're deceiving themselves with their own pride. So why would they not deceive you? The utterance of I'll get that while you get this. In fact, let me just get it real quick. And do you know what it is? The utterance, where it goes into Oh man.
This is Isaiah, I'll put it in a minute. Isaiah 27:1. In that day Yahweh, with his salt and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. What is it? Utterance?
The utterance of look at the word utterance in both Ecclesiastes.
Sarah 27:6.
27.
The fruit declareth if the tree have been dressed, so is the utterance of a conceit in the heart of man.
So, you know, the things that they utter and whatnot, of course, they're slithery, man. They're coming all soft with their words, but really, they're looking out to kill you, man. But if you read that one more time, I was going to bring it out, don't worry.
Alright, Sirach 27:6. The fruit declareth if the tree have been dressed, so is the utterance of a conceit in the heart of man.
So what man utters, that declares really how it's been taken care of. Somebody has, the thing that somebody says, you should be able to know, alright, cool, this individual has not been tended after, okay? From birth until now. You know, as even if he's a man, right now he's walking as somebody you can tell from the very beginning he was going off, man. Because again, the wicked are straight from the womb, man, as it reads in Psalm 58:3.
In fact, this is Sirach 19:30. A man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is.
And you know, when people also boast of their attire, what is their attire? Things like suits and ties. You know, if you look up suits and ties, man, the reason why people, well, really I'll say it like this: the bundle of stick individuals, the alphabet dudes, okay, right? They made these garments for bundle of stick maggots, okay, to look good for them. That's literally what it's for. It's for those type of people, man. You know what I'm talking about. And people boast in that, but you can see that the reason why they're doing that is because that's the people they look after. They're sipping that spiritual wine, man. Babylon juice, man. They're injecting that Babylonian steroids. Go ahead with the word gate.
It's not even that good. It basically just, well, the word, it's a word, isn't it? But it's not got anything of great significance. But gate, a going or walking, departure, journey, and that's G-A-I-T in its modern English.
You know, that's like a word that in a Hebrew word, for example, is the rock, the path, your walk, the way you are, the way, your choice of life, your journey. And most people walk to the broad way to destruction, and few walk to the place of righteousness. And one of the ways that they fall into the place of destruction is because they buy into the bullcrap, because they hear these words, these soft words, and they fall for it, man. They fall for the okie doke. There's a Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sword. But that's essentially what he's doing. Everything he's saying, you know, is really ultimately for him to lure people into the sword. Okay, his sword. You know, he knows he's got a short time, as it reads Revelation 12:12, man. That's why he's coming down with that great wrath. You know?
Me. This is Isaiah 30, and you ninjas want that as well. Yeah, you want the smooth way, the easy way out. We're not saying that we want to have a great battle and get killed off spiritually, but we understand these things are necessary. And with that, you sort of walk into it a bit different. Then I just want to turn up like how you clock in at work. Then you go there, you get the job done, and you go. You're not trying to do all this extra stuff. You shouldn't have that same attitude with this truth. So Isaiah 30, and we'll start at 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. If this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And that's, who's that? Jacob. Alright, the so-called Christians. Oh, we're Israel. Yeah, I can sort of get with that. But now you have to stop doing Christmas. What? Yeah, but for the kids, and if you know, come on, Jacob. But this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside, out of the path, cause the Holy One of Yasharallah to cease from before us. And that's in every captivity, man. Every last one of them. Right? There's none where you can. The worst one is really E. Alright, starting with the Greco-Roman system. So starting with that third beast, and going into the fourth, and really that's why they call it the Greco-Roman Empire, because they took such Hellenistic influence. They might as well just call it Greco-Roman, like freakish Roman. You got anything? Do you brothers want to go?
Slachia?
Right, so Beware the Beast, man, from 1986, Planet of the Apes, and they're talking about, well, this is very important. It's from our lawgiver. Don't really need a seatbelt. It's from their lawgiver. Now, who's the lawgiver, so-called? Moses, the book of Moses. So you go into this is the Beast, man. And I think they say it's from the 29th scroll,
29,
the 6th verse.
Yeah.
It says, "Beware the beast, man, for he is the devil's pawn." And let me read. I'm going to read it through verbatim, and then maybe we can pause at every comma, think some scriptures, and flow in the spirit from thence. Adon Ratazah. Beware the beast, man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone amongst God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
This is Revelation 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And that 1,000 years has already run out, you know, where we was ruling in Europe. And then, of course, that 1,000 years has ended, and the Renaissance happening, the rebirth, the rebirthing of Esau Edom's kingdom, man.
Get continuous small space, because that's the time we're in now. It's starting, like the brother said, from the Renaissance, which means what?
Which means the rebirth.
The rebirth, the naissance. If you have a so-called Christmas play, they call it nativity. Right, that goes back to naissance. If you have you're looking at a birth, it's prenatal. If you have some depression, some dis-ease after you've had birth, it's called post-natal depression. Right, so he was born again on the left-hand side.
Where is continuous short space again?
Is it not in?
I thought it was possibly it's chapter 13. Must continuous short space.
Loose the little season. Verse 3, Revelation 20 it should be.
Quran. Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up.
Which is what?
Which is Europe. And shut him up and set a seal upon him. And when you seal something, you close it, you lock it in. And it says that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season.
That's where we are now, brothers.
This time right now. You want to read the Beastman quotation
Let's
again?
get Revelation 13 is what's on my mind. So beware the Beastman, for he is the devil's pawn. So he's working, he's after Satan. There's many places we could go. There's a spider web thing. All links in.
So you got Revelation chapter 13.
So who is the Beastman? It says beware the Beastman. Who's the Beastman?
Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So the NATO and the EU, the 7 heads and 10 horns, which all expansion are starting from Rome, right? The 4th beast, because there are 4 beasts to rule, all right. And then of course America comes out of that 4th beast, and that's the times we're living in right now. We're not waiting for the 4th beast, you know. The prophecies are very clearly lining up that we're living in those times where the 4th beast is ruling, and then judgment is to come upon that 4th beast. This is 2 Ezra 11:39. Are not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. Right?
I just want to zoom in on what you said concerning Rome. Now, when you have the EU being created, I read this is the Treaty of Rome, according to Wikipedia. And we know it can get changed, but you know it can get sourced, and you can really independently source. It's not some crazy specific information we need either, so let's just read. The Treaty of Rome, or EEC, Esau Edom Committee, EEC Treaty, officially the Treaty of establishing the European Economic Community. What's their common unity? They're all E. right, brought about the creation of the EEC, best known as the European Committee's EC. The treaty was signed on the 25th of March 1957 by Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands and West Germany. So that's 6. And so it came into force on the 1st of January 1958 under the name Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union. It remains one of the 2 most important treaties in what is now the European Union. So then why would they call it the Treaty of Rome? Obviously it was in Rome. Why that was significant? They all recognized we are Rome again. No ships. So you've got beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. And do you mind getting one of you brothers getting that in 2 Thessalonians 2? His working is after the working of Hashatan. The beast man. And while we get that, while someone's getting that, this is Revelation 13 and 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Right? Who's that? The beast man. And his number is 666. So 2 Thessalonians 2.
Verse.
Anyway, it talks about, it's between 4 and 7, I think. Who's after the working of Satan, with all lying wonders and deceivableness. Maybe even verse 9.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called Yahweh, or his worships that he sets himself upon Yahweh's temple, proclaiming himself to be the Most High.
He speaks with such pride, and people fall for it too. You know, our people believe that kind of stuff. When Esau, Edom, even the lower level people, but they still looked at as rich when they speak and they boast themselves. People actually buy into that and love it. Like, yes, say all that stuff. It's beautiful. It's so cool. You know, and that's part of his deception. You know, that's part of his he boasts himself to the point that people actually believe him. You know, people tune in to that kind of stuff, and it's really coming to an end, man. You can see it because what he's saying seems to be less glorified by people. But there's gonna be a time when, of course, that's not gonna matter. They're gonna fall for it either way, because the devil knows his time is short, man. This deceiver, all right, speaking himself, thinking he's better than the Most High. He's gonna round people up for whatever it may be, for the femur bone, camps.
You better be careful with those language now.
For the
foxtrot,
chip,
echo. You know them ones there?
Yeah, something like that.
I know the M. Foxtrot, echo, Moses, Africa. Them all right.
Jumping down to verse 6.
Perfect.
And now he know that withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
In his time. So it needed to be a time. And like it says, I think it's verse 3. Yep, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So even that, it needed to be in its time. You know, we needed to go off. We would be able to be reconciled, have the adoption. That's perfect. Keep going.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
Why? Because who's ruling at the time of Paul? Right, is the time this is being penned. The same ease, man. Keep going.
He who now letteth will let, until he hath been taken out of the way.
Taken out of the way. Removed. It'll be moved again. Yep.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Yep, so that's the beastman. Yeah, he is the devil's pawn. It says, beware the beastman, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Okay?
The book of Obadiah, verse 10 says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And eventually that is to come, man. You know, since the very beginning, that's what he's done. He's tried to kill us. He's come to persecute us because he hates his brother, man. He hates us because we're the righteous and he's the wicked.
Enmity against the woman, yeah, and the serpent, wicked.
And I said it from the beginning, so I'll get this. Genesis chapter 27.
Verse 38.
Genesis chapter 27. We'll get to the point actually. We'll go to verse 41.
Go.
And Esau,
40,
okay. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Just to give the context, because we got straight to the point. Yeah, that's Esau talking to his father, Isaac. So Isaac saying, this is the blessing that I've got for you.
His blessing is a sword, man. That's why he's able to do what he does right now. He's able to. What can we do, carnally speaking? Round up a bunch of people and start some kind of Power Ranger group. Come on, man. They'll come out with everything they've got because they've got so much to go against it. That's their blessing. They've been blessed with it.
And that goes back to what the brother said, to take peace from the earth, and he was given a great sword. He sat on that red horse.
This is verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And he uttered such words of slaying his own brother, man.
Yeah, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land.
To do what? To possess his brother's land. See how I mean?
So who's in the land?
Esau Edom puts in his movies like so clear, man.
That's one thing I rate about him, man.
He's a proud devil, man.
He's good at what he's doing, man. Right, so this is Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore thus saith Ha'adawan, meaning the Lord, Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which is what? What does Idumea mean?
Edom.
What language?
Greek.
Right, it's an anglicized, Hellenized word. And against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. And also, what does it say in Luke 21? Alright, Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall, who? The Israelites. This is talking about that falling away. 70 AD, that is that falling away. That's 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. So Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So we're not in the land. Why? We are murdered. Why? To possess our land. Why? Because he's the devil. He's the beast man. He's the devil's pawn. So beware the beast man, for he's the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. So let him not breed in great numbers.
Did you get Proverbs 18 and 7?
No, sir.
This is Proverbs 18 or 7 and it's right here. 17. No, 7.
What are you thinking?
6. Perhaps.
Give me one word.
Sport.
Proverbs 10 and 23.
Oh, the water. Yeah, that's the one. Proverbs 10 and 23. It says, it is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding hath wisdom. Right? That's a very, it literally says exactly what.
Yep, it says alone among God's primates he kills for sport.
That's part of his mischief. He can't help but to do that. He loves it, man. Let me get the scriptures out. Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs 4 and 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, the gate, and the walk of life of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. See, what part of that is join hand in hand and love everyone and all that stuff, Jake, man? And it says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief. They don't sleep until they kill. They have to do. They kill for lust,
Sport or greed.
you can't. And it says, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. They don't eat the bread of life. They eat the bread of death, man. They drink the wine of violence because that's their doctrine. The doctrine is violence. They just love it. They promote it everywhere, man. And it's the blessing is the sword. And they're gonna fall really with their own blessing, man. They get this.
Cain's gonna get fall by the cane, man.
Psalm chapter 7. We'll start up to verse. We'll go up to verse. For the sake of it, we'll just go straight to the point. Verse 15. He made a pit and digged it and has fallen into the ditch which he made. So if he was making a ditch for us, but really he's going to kick in there, man. Alright? And it says in verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pat, I believe. For sure, exactly.
This is Psalm 141 and 10. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst the eye withal escape. I want a scripture on this. It says, just to recap, you're reading Planet of the Apes, 1986. The scriptures, the so-called scriptures. It's a book that they have. It's from the so-called lawgiver. It's chapter 29, verse 6. And it's talking about that beast man, and really it's talking about E. So going through that and applying it where it actually lines up with the true scriptures. They're sort of making a mockery, but then they're basing it in truth. So it says, yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers.
And just to clarify, the reason why they do it in a mockery, but they show truth, is to mock the truth, to make it seem like it's nothing but a thing of mockery in the first place. That's why I mentioned last time when they put stuff, the whole concept of miracles and whatnot, they put it in movies that are complete, bullshit. And then people will think the concept of such is bullshit. And then they'll say, you believe in the Bible, you might as well believe in Harry Potter. Well, no, the Bible came thousands of years before Harry Potter, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about? And but just to clarify, the word paid.
Muslim, Harry Potter is the last prophet.
In the Psalm 7 and 16, the word paid just means it's another word for your head. So it's a synonym for the beginning of the verse. It says, mischief shall return paid. P-A-T-E. So
like patella.
Things to
not your elbow. How does
things to come upon their own head. They're gonna get hit with the sword too, a glittering sword. As a reason, is it Job 20? It might be 24. No, I think of a different script. I know it's Job 24. But
if you can Job 20 and 25.
20, 25, yeah. What? Job chapter 20.
Look at this word paid. It says from French.
What is that one?
Paton. From Latin patina. From Latin patina, pan dish.
This is I'll read Job 20 and verse 20. I'll start verse 20. Surely, verse 19 actually. Okay, it says, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. Wow, see, he's violently taken away the lands, the home.
Let's read that. So this is the book of the Planet of the Apes doctrine, chapter 29 and verse 6. Beware of the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport or lust or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. And this is based off the true scripture, which is,
this is Job 20:19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. So he's a thief, man. He's a damn thief.
It's alright, man, because he's going to build houses that he won't dwell in.
Yep, that's right. Because
like it says,
even as he's rewarded us.
Isaiah 60, it says, they shall not build and another inhabit. And so that's what happened.
Right. And just to clarify, look, he's forsaken the poor. He doesn't give a damn. All the stuff he does, he's always talking about, we're going to give this to the black community first. Sleepy J-Dog, alright, he's always...
You're trying to think what you can say without the algorithm clipping him.
I'll say it like this, any of these damn devils, they don't care about you. Simple, let's just get straight to the point. They don't, everything they say they're going to look out for you, that's really them saying, we're going to test this on you first, or just kill you out first. Make it quick and snappy, we hate you. They're always persecuting us with the sword. Many things could be the sword. Maxine is a sword, man. Clarify. Literally, technically it literally is a cutting instrument. But that's neither here nor that. The point is that it actually is used as a sword, These movies and stuff are a sword.
Certain of his pharmakia, that can be a sword. Right? It cuts you up.
Yeah, man.
Maybe not literally.
Sometimes they literally make it as to literally kill you, like poison to kill you. From the very get-go, that was their objective. They gave it to someone and he's terminated. Alright? Now this is Job chapter 20 and verse 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. So ultimately, all the stuff, the fullness thereof, everything that he's had is going to be gone, man. Or all the stuff that they lived abundantly with is going to turn to desolation, because that's the judgment that they have to face. That's the righteous judgment. There's no other way to really deal with it, man. Everything they've done to us, what is the righteous way to deal with it, Jay? If it's not just get gone, all of it, and go into chains, man. Get in those straits. Verse, Flaki, let's get to the point first. Let me read the next two verses. I'll start with verse 23 again. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn, and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, and ultimately that glittering sword is actually the thermonuclear missiles, the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles.
This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 16. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. I say, he said everything, something, and everything thereof, well, even them, it'll be as though, do you remember the Edomites? Yeah, man. Gee, I've not seen them in 1,000 years, man.
It's the memory.
Can you remember that? Can you imagine that rather? And then being a distant memory. Like the brother was saying, the children, Daddy, what was it like to live around the Edomites? It'd be like an ancient history lesson, man. And you'll have your great grandchildren. Hey, I don't want.
Wait, hold on a second. At one point, people, they're going to be like, at one point, people didn't look like this. They had like lack of pigment. What's pigmentation? They don't even understand.
Flying up to the sky.
Yeah, what's a seven?
We couldn't used to do this. Is that real, Dad? And obviously, there's influence.
Wait, we used to run and get tired eventually.
There's influence from this seclorum that we're taking on, because we can't imagine it at the same. But it's going to be even better than that. But all the the wholesome moments that you might try and have on this side, we've got them in abundance, man. They're coming, and Adon Ratazah, it's us, we believe it. Adon Ratazah.
Right. This is Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Right? They're going to see the stability that this earth tries to portray is going to be completely gone. Also physically,
wobble
by the
like
way.
a fat drunk Edomite, man.
Literally, an earthquake shall come upon this earth, as we know in Matthew 24. In fact, can you get that real quick?
Multiple.
Earthquakes shall come upon this earth, and that's part of the beginning of sorrows. And we can see many coming right now. And of course, when wars happen, when explosions happen, like in the TV, they were showing the Beirut blast, right?
Oh man.
And that was nothing compared to what's coming, but that was still pretty damn. Yeah, man. The shaking of the earth. Yep. The guy was trying to take the video. Yep. He couldn't even do it because of the shake, man. It was like, oh shit! I couldn't even you couldn't even see it towards once the blast explosion. The force traveled to him. Once it got to him, he was like, fuck, can't even do it. He couldn't even do it, man. It's Matthew 24.
I've got
verse get to verse.
While the brother's getting that, this is Luke 21 and 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. The powers of heaven shall be shaken, man.
That's right.
And all of these things, even before Hamashiach comes, and we're in the midst of Jacob's trouble, of course. Even every time we're getting close to that, there's going to be fearful sights, and people might just die, and men's hearts failing. What's a heart failure? A heart attack. It means you can't pump blood around your body, which means you're fucked, aka dead. So people are literally going to die just because they think, oh shit, what could happen? You're going to die because you're scared of what could happen, and that's a fearful thought. Go ahead, bro.
Book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right. And it says all these
are the
are the
beginning
beginning of
of
sorrows. So right now, consider this all leading towards the beginning of all things, man. All these uproars and shit. All this stuff pertaining to the wars, man. Nation against nation, man. You know, it's just perfect, man. This is perfect stuff. We're so close, man. And then what's gonna happen is righteousness shall forever prevail, not wickedness. People are scared to have this place destroyed because they're scared of what's coming. There's nothing to be scared about. Unless you're an Edomite, be very afraid. This is Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. The transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again.
That's right. It's not coming back. You're not going to build up the desolate places. You're going to be desolate.
And remember, this topic is referring to simply the earth. Isaiah 24 this time. We'll go to 19 and then verse 20. Referring simply the earth, simply the whole earth, it's going to literally be changed, A new heaven and a new earth is what we seek for.
Righteousness.
This
is 2 Ezra 16 and 18. No. It's gonna lose the effect.
I got you.
2 Ezra 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And what shall you do? The answer is trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
What did he say? What shall he do when these evils shall come?
Because why? Because he's going to be back. The reincarnation, so called. Again in flesh, that's all it means.
Okay. 2 Peter 3 and verse you can read that up. We should really, yeah. Verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, and long suffering he's patient to usward, right? Not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But really the elect will, and that should start now, if I don't want to desire essentially. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away.
I'm just going to say, like Elder Apostle Taha said, it's not going to take us as a thief. Why? Because we're looking. So he's going to take you ninjas and ninjettes.
It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? And ask yourself that question a lot, man. Examine yourselves, right? It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And let me get that Greek word for fervent.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. So we're looking for destruction so the new heaven and earth can then be established.
So this is the word for fervent. Let's get the Strong's G man on here. This is the word for fervent. Oh,
you have to press the Greek side of it.
2741, Kalsao. Kalsao.
Kalsao. It says, look, it says, oh wait, let me click on it, so
Press the Greek side.
Yeah, my fault. So Kalsao says to burn up, set fire to suffer with feverish burning, be parched with fever. It says with fervent heat twice, is how it's translated. Let's see if we've got any roots there. This is the root word apparently.
Strong's G 2740, Kalsis. Kalsis.
Kalsis, burning, burning up, to be burned. Right, so finished, in other words, through, burned. Leave that.
Okay. This is 2 Peter chapter 3. I read verse 14 again. Sorry, verse 13 again. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And really, that new heaven and earth, the rulership is going to be with the Israelites, and that's why it's going to be a whole new world, man, where righteousness is prevailing. And why is that? Because the righteous are ruling. Because when these wicked people rule, then why the hell would wickedness not prevail? Okay, so that's you know, I won't. You know who? You're probably not watching this. You know who you are, though. All right. If you admit that the rulers are wicked, how is this world not ruling in wickedness? How is not the devices, the thoughts, process, any action, initiation taken part by the government, not all for wicked purposes? You know, why is the bigger picture not wickedness on their side? You see, they don't understand, man. In Revelation chapter 21 verse 1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. The New Jerusalem is talking about us as a nation.
And ultimately, why are we coming down from out of heaven? Because we're caught up in them clouds.
That's right.
Let me just get this. This is Proverbs 29 and 12, as the brother said. In Proverbs 29 and 12, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked.
That's the spirit. And you see right now, these people right now are serving Israel, so they're wicked. So most of our family members, everybody, they're all fucking wicked, man. They're wicked as hell. Don't start tap dancing around the reality. They serve the devil, the deceiver. They love the deception. They don't even know it's a deception. They don't care. Some of these people, even if they found out it was a deception, they still don't care. That's how much they love Edom. That's how much they love this world, because they're that through, utterly. And again, you know, as a bride adorned for a husband, why is that? Because we're likened unto the bride of Yahushua.
Do you mind getting 2 Corinthians 11 and 2?
Okay. The scriptures.
Yep. Get Isaiah 45 and 4, and I'll get Isaiah 54 and 5. This is Isaiah 54 and 5. It says, for thy maker is thine husband, Yahweh of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. The Allah, the power of the whole earth shall he be called. So the same, there's order, man. There's order. We are the wife of the Lord. We're not to rule over him or try to usurp authority over him.
So this is Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
So you're either named, you're surnamed by the Lord, or you're named by the beast. You either put, because how do you consummate a marriage? How does a fiance, or whatever, fiance, if they're betrothed, should I say, how do they consummate a marriage? How do they become man and wife?
By laying down together.
Sex. So how is Esau putting his name upon you? By penetrating you, right, with his charagma. That's one thing. That's the way he's trying to steal the Lord's woman, which is adultery. We're promised to go.
And it's like even the servants, you know, even the elect servants, because really we're to inherit these other nations. So who is he to try to do that, man? To try to take them as his servants eternally by penetrating them, you know, with the charagma.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused to you one husband, that I may present you as a chastised virgin to Yahushua.
Yep, a chaste virgin, so that goes into clean, pure. It's where you get the term caste, the caste system, or this person's half caste, and stuff like that. It's all dealing with being chaste, being pure. Let me get the word there for espoused. Is he on?
Strong's G 718. Harmadzo.
And if I was to take a wild guess, I would assume that's where you get the term harmony, to be harmonious, to fit in together. It says harmadzo, to join, to fit together, of carpenters, fastening together beams and planks to build houses, ships, etc. To betroth a daughter to anyone. So we are that. You know, we're the daughter, the daughter of Zion. Now you've got daughters of Zion when that's plural. It's speaking about the female members of the nation. When we're talking about the daughter of Zion, that is Jake.
Hey,
go.
Nahum chapter 1.
Oh, I've not finished this definition.
Okay,
I thought you were speaking. To betroth a daughter to anyone, to join oneself, i.e. marry, to marry the daughter of anyone, to betroth, to give in marriage to anyone. So we're promised, right, betrothed, engaged in this world. You'd call it an engagement. We're engaged to the Lord. So for someone to come and try to take that's adultery. That's why in the so-called R doctrine, Deuteronomy 22, the difference is one is betrothed, one is unbetrothed. It's quote-unquote fair game. But Nahum
chapter 1 verse 2. The Most High is jealous. Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revenges and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. You see? So the Most High power, okay, he has enemies, man. Alright, he's not just loving everybody. He's not just looking at everyone as like a just creation that he just desires and admires to just keep on this earth forever. You know.
But the Lord made everybody.
It's a balanced power.
If he wasn't, that'd be unrighteous, that'd be unjust, that would be iniquity. Let me pull up that word. So this is Etym the online etymology dictionary. Iniquity, hostility, malevolence, a hostile action. From Old French, iniquity, iniquitate, iniquitate, or iniquite. It says from Latin iniquitatum, unequalness, unevenness, and figuratively unfavorableness, unfairness, injustice. And just like the Lord had to create good and evil, so-called, he has to have that balance, man. Like the brother said.
Ecclesiastes 12:6, for the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. And that's exactly what that's what's going on. They're being reserved for that day.
Yep.
You know, they're being the ungodly are reserved for judgment. What's that, Job?
Even the day of evil. Psalm 5:5, the foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
The Lord hates sinners. He hates our people who go off, man. You know, so why would he not hate Esau, Edom? Jake's just love so damn much. And realistically, I don't even know if I really believe you. If you really sit there and think he loves everyone, man. You know, I think you guys just think he's. Well,
you so-called Christians don't love everyone. Your doctrine is we have to love everyone. They say, all right, you don't love everyone. You don't love us.
This is John chapter 16:1.
Otherwise, you wouldn't make fake, false witnesses. You wouldn't come. You're hateful.
You won't come against us the way you do. Simple as that. Like, if you love someone, why would you do all that shit? John
there's a difference between rebuke and pure mockery.
Right.
A mockery and scoffery of the truth. Now we know, was it Elijah or Elisha that mocked the idol? But when we're dealing with the true power and the true interpretation, you wouldn't come at it like that. So you're hateful.
John 16:1. These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogue. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service. So there's going to be a time when they kill us, okay, thinking that they're serving the Most High God. And let's see if that's love. They probably tried tap dancing on that one and say, we still love everybody. Whatever, man.
We're killing you out of love. Kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness, alright. You know, that's basically their thought process, man. To be all happy about everything. And just pretend that everything's all good. Really, you're still the poor of the earth, Jake, man. And you're being forsaken by the wicked, as the scripture says, man. It's Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 2. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. So right now, they look at us as, we mentioned the scripture, they look at us as we're dead. All right, and then they're like, oh, why are you why are you so sad? If you had Jesus. And if he set you free, why are you just so angry and sad? See, you don't know the scriptures. Inside the unwise seem to die.
What does it get? Ecclesiastes 1:18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1.
Watch this, you Christians, so-called.
Verse 18. For much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
So if you got Jesus, and knowing that the Lord and the true Messiah, Yahweh Shai, is the Word, that's the whole Word. So when you say, oh, you've not got this, well, that's to do with wisdom. That's not necessarily to do with Jesus. Well, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is wisdom, because He is the whole role.
In the volume of the book is written of Him. The only way you're gonna have understanding is through His whole scripture, man. And obviously, most so-called Christians, they don't really acknowledge the book of Wisdom of Solomon, which also makes them, which is even worse. That's the point. It's even worse. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 3:2. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken from misery. The departure from the world, departure from them, is taken from misery. And really, we're miserable in a manner. We're better off without you.
We're miserable to be around you, man.
It sucks to be around you, Dad. It's a torture sometimes, man. So really, we're miserable in this world because we know the wicked are ruling, but you don't see it because you're an absolute idiot, man. You're a moron. This is some of you, you know what I mean. This This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So again, every work's going to be revealed, man. You're going to see that we were right, man. You know, it feels good to say it sometimes. It feels good to really kind of be in that moment where you're fighting for the truth, man. You know, you're putting your life on the line, risking your life and your freedom, your safety for this truth. And we're going to be found to be right. It's going to be a very good feeling, man.
This is Sirach 4:28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai shall fight for thee.
See, the Lord's going to fight for us, man. And that's why, again, he's going to pay vengeance to his adversaries. Because these people who are our enemies is their enemies. Because Yahushai dwelleth in us. That's why you hate us, man. You hate Yahushai.
Really, you don't hate us. You can't hate us.
Because you hate Yahushai, which dwelleth in us. Can't. 2nd Ezra 9. Oh man, I feel to read so much, but let's just go to let's go like to verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world.
No. So let's start at 1, man.
It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Highest will begin to visit the world which He made. And right now we're doing that. We're seeing these times and we're like, okay, the Lord is coming. Let's do it! It's very close. Very, very close, man. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, what did it say? There shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
What did you have? You had that in Haiti?
Oh,
right? Yeah, that big one.
Yep. That killed, what, 7?
They said 7 and then they said 17. And that's spiritual.
I think they went up furthermore, no?
700?
I think it was. I'm not sure. And then they said it was 7 in the Richter scale. That's spiritual, that is
7.2.
And it says, verse 4 says, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Because the Most High, He has so much wisdom, He knows the end from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end,
a race course,
and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the Highest have plain beginnings, and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Revelation 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be.
Verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment, for such as in their life have received benefits, and have not known me. So you don't know the Lord. Oh, you idiots, man. You don't know the Lord, man. And it says, and they...
Because you're an idiot, going your own way. Idiotes.
They that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. And how are you going to get away with that, man? Despising the Lord in a time when you had grace, where there was favor upon you going off. Because we can't be justified through the works of the law. We're justified through our faith, which comes with works of the law, which comes with being a minister, which comes with showing the Lord that you're not down with this world, man. Okay, you're not down with this stuff.
Like Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Right.
That's 2 Peter 2 and 7.
You're supposed to hate this shit that
just
comes out of these people, man.
No, it's just Lot. Yeah, he did some stuff that will make you bug out.
And this is verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. And the world is created for the elect of Israel, man. The elect of Israel are going to take the kingdom, man, and possess it forever, even forever and ever, as Daniel 7:18 says, man. There's nothing these people can do about it. So it's all written. Whatever the Most High said is going to happen, it shall prosper, which means it shall be successful.
It shall accomplish the thing whereto He sent it. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Forever.
And I believe, verse 14. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish, than of them which shall be saved.
Woo,
Like as a wave is greater than a giraffe.
Which is 2 Ezra 8:1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
Very few people are going to be in the world to come, man. Many people are going to be destroyed with them, and you can miss as many by famine, by sword. Everybody has, their lot. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, they have... Is that mine right? Oh, so
Let me get this. You talked about
what's the one
famine,
about
sword.
some for the sword, some for the sword, some for the sword?
2 Ezra 16:22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
What?
So you want?
No, but that's the precept right there.
Okay.
Nevertheless,
What is it?
the one that says it might be in Lamentations chapter 4 or something like that. Lamentations. Let me read it. 9? Oh, hold up. No, I'm getting good ones though. I kind of want to read this now. Lamentations 4 and 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. You might, it's better for you to just get killed then and there than have to endure that time of hunger where you're literally just
Wasting away.
yeah, man.
Like
You can barely even move. You start to hallucinate. Everything around you it's all like you're just seeing triple because you're not nourished. And it says for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruit of the field. And to want means to lack. So I go to Jeremiah 5 and 12 and there. They have belied Yahweh and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see a sword nor famine. And again, Esau Edom actually thinks that, man. And our people really, they're stupid enough to think that too, man. They're gonna get it, man. Most of our people are going to get it so heavy that they're not gonna see it coming, man. This is Jeremiah 14:13. Then said I, Yahweh power, behold, the prophet said to them, you shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you a short peace in this place. That's us, man. That we have peace in a time where we see destruction. Because again, it's so heavy, and just out of nowhere, just a big flood really is how it's going to come upon you. Out of literally nowhere, like a thief in the night.
when the enemy shall come in like a flood, and the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard and the was against him. Which means that what a flee, an escape route. And the only escape route is through the Heavenly Father. And the only way you can get to the Heavenly Father is through the Son.
I think I mentioned this before in the video. Like it was like 2003 or something. Am I tripping? There was an old Hulk movie. And one time you saw military in the movie, they took that dude, Bruce Banner, and they put him in like this weird type of tube thing inside water, and then the IV dripped him and like put him in like an oxygen mask. And he was asleep at that point. And he just woke up and he just got angry. Became the Hulk and all that, destroyed and started breaking everything. They were trying to kill him, but he just kept destroying everything, kept killing them. None of the bullets could stop him, and then he just escaped. Alright, and I'm not saying we're going to turn to big, giant, green, angry, muscular dudes. I'm just saying whatever we could. Literally, we could do anything. We could be pretty much anything. But
This is
so it's like I was going to say. But ultimately, the Lord is going to deliver us in some way or another. And some of us will, of course, die for the truth, but strive for the truth of the death, and the Lord shall fight for you, as you read previously. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So there you have it, man.
You other one?
Proverbs 5:22. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cause of his sin. Read now 23. He shall die without instruction, and in greatness of his folly shall go astray.
And again, read that last bit again.
He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
And he's leaning on his own
The
understanding.
abundance of his folly, man. That's again. He's gonna fall in his own snare. He's gonna dig a pit and fall right in it. And that's why there's no fear on this side, man. No matter what they do. Again, there's gonna be I'll get it real quick. Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, it is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. And who is that slayer? Who is that? Who is the one who comes who's with the sword as a blessing?
He happened to be sat on a red horse.
He's a red man, alright, on his red horse, and the horse symbolizes that power. He's got that power to go around and do this, to use his blessing very efficiently, okay, to go out and kill, man. And that's what even when he's coming with that, we're not afraid of him, because we know that the Lord, you know, if we have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, he's gonna fight for us, man.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do, man. Esau, you know, your time is running out.
Fuck.
And you know, death to you. And that's all the scriptures I got. Any scriptures?
That's all I've got.
Fact, yeah, Matthew 10 and 28. Do not fear those who kill the body.
Sorry, from the top.
Matthew 10, 28. Do not fear those who kill the body but are unable to kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in
What
hell.
a perfect precept. So you know, time's coming very soon, man. I don't want Ratazad so much sooner rather than later, man. You know, this could be it. This could be literally, it could be right around the corner, man.
Sooner than we believed.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna catch us like a thief, or we're gonna be frightened. We're gonna be rejoicing on the one Ratazad, man. As long as we're in this faith.
You have not bound the strong man of the house, Esau.
So with that, we'll give all praises, all honor, and all glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakam, Kodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. I want to say Shalom, Mubarakat, the Habachayar, Hagawiyah, Yasharala, and the peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Mawafila Babal, Shalom.
Shalom.